We have come a long way as a people and as a nation since the degrading practice of slavery was abolished in the British colonies by the passing of the Slavery Abolition Act in 1833. As we celebrate emancipation from slavery, it is appropriate that we stop and reflect on how that experience has influenced our national behavior and attitudes, and how these in turn affect our attitude towards others who are different from us. Today's world is characterized by a slow but progressive removal of the obstacles and prejudices that separate nations and peoples from fully interacting with each other and in building relations for their mutual advancement based on respect, the dignity of the human being, and the democratic rights and freedoms cherished by all people, regardless of their race, color, or religious belief. As we in Dominica attempt to carve out a niche for our survival and development in this highly competitive and increasingly borderless global environment, our institutions, legal systems, our practices, and our attitudes will surely be put to the test. Our rural communities are still reeling under the shock of the decline of the banana production due to market forces, and the global recession is having its effect on families due to a decrease in remittances. On top of all this, many individuals are aspiring to lifestyle influenced by imagery coming through the electronic media, particularly the television. As part of the policy of building a more secure future for our people, government has moved along with the regional integration movement and has developed relations with a number of countries across the globe. Today, we are part of the Economic Union of the OECS, and at a higher level, we are working to establish the CARICOM single market and economy. We are also signatories to an economic partnership agreement with the European Union. We have strengthened our relations with the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and we have a strong and valued relationship with the People's Republic of China. We have long-standing relations with Libya and Nigeria on the African continent, and are pursuing the establishment of relations with a number of countries in the Middle East. We now approach the end of the second decade of the 21st century, and there are many lessons we can learn on the development of human civilization that can help us on our journey of nation building. Mankind has seen the dehumanizing and degrading evils of slavery, apartheid, Nazism, ethnic cleansing, and genocide in various forms. All these have had in common the debasing and devaluing of the human being. On the other hand, we can adopt the positive attributes reflected in the peaceful and respectful philosophies of Gandhi and Martin Luther King, or the forgiving, compassionate embrace of all men, regardless of race, color, or creed, as exhibited by Sister Teresa and the legendary Nelson Mandela. They all show the highest respect for the dignity of the human person and the treatment of all as equals. Dominicans have had a long-established reputation of being a warm, friendly, peace-loving, and welcoming people, qualities akin to the positive attributes mentioned. This reputation will be put to the test as we strengthen relations with nations of different cultures, ethnicity, as well as different religious beliefs than ours. This is inevitable, for the strengthening of relations will result in a greater commingling of their nationals and ours with theirs, as we seek the mutual advancement of our people and the development of our country. We must remember that there are many Dominicans living as foreigners in other lands, as there are Dominicans living here. We expect the nationals of those countries to treat them with fairness, respect, and dignity. In like manner, it is our duty to treat all foreign nationals and friends residing or working in Dominica with the same level of respect and fairness that we expect them in treating with Dominicans residing, studying, or working in their countries. This government therefore firmly condemns any and all forms of hostility, insults, disrespect, and aggression displayed by Dominicans towards our foreign friends, visitors, and others working with us and supporting us in realizing our future development of our country. We deeply regret the incidents of aggression displayed by one of our nationals towards one of the Chinese workers engaged in the rehabilitation of the West Coast Road. We deplore such behavior and once again call on all users of the West Coast Road to be patient and tolerant as we attempt to rehabilitate the road with minimum inconveniences to the traveling public. We are aware that there is a small group of persons violently opposed to the government who, under the guise of media practitioners, jump onto any issue and without seeking to find out the facts, proceeding in painting the worst pictures of government's policy and operations, and in slandering government ministers and officials in the vilest manner. Their aim is to undermine the massive show of support of the Dominican people for the government and to frighten away investors and their friendly governments working with us. We condemn them and their xenophobic and racist behavior and call on them to desist from their anti-Dominica behavior. They showed their true colors in widely misinforming and misrepresenting the facts surrounding the incident of the local trucker with the Chinese worker. Their purpose was to inflame the passion of the uninformed Dominicans and to induce hostile behavior towards our Chinese guests so that the rehabilitation of the West Coast Road would come to a halt. It would indeed be a blot on our national character if we move in the direction of displaying intolerance, discourtesy, and intemperance to each other, or to nationals of friendly countries with whom we are constructively engaged in the process of national development. Indeed, our reputation attests to the fact that as Dominicans, we possess the capacity to break down barriers of prejudice, hatred, and ethnic marginalization that have held some people and countries in bondage and stunted their development for decades. Let us recommit to bringing kindness, respect, care, and concern to anyone who crosses our path as we go about our daily affairs.